welcome back to another episode of Are You Still Talking, episode 4. I know I said I wasn't going to do one of these every week, but here I am again. And I just thought, I think it's good to kind of give myself as much consistency and as much sort of routine as possible in my life at the moment. Not that I've got nothing going on, there's quite a lot going on, but I just feel like if I can give myself any excuse to be productive on a regular basis and kind of have this Monday release deadline, record on Saturday or Sunday, I think that, the better. And it's also a means to create as well and stay creative, which is what I'm all about. Not much more to add at the moment, apart from there's quite a lot of stuff coming up uni wise. I'm actually a lot of my work is going to be actually being shown and exhibited, which is something that hasn't been able to happen in quite a while actually. It's good that my stuff is going to be able to be shown to the general public in an open area, and they're not just film festivals. They're proper exhibitions. Why? Okay, I'm back. I don't know what's going on with this Mac at the moment, but for some reason, when I record audio, it sometimes just the thing just freezes, and then it for that amount of time it just doesn't record. I noticed listening back on the last week's podcast, it seemed like I was cutting things out, but I wasn't. It was literally just stopping recording for like a couple of seconds. I recorded that on Adobe Audition, and I thought that maybe, because I've got Audacity on here as well, I thought that maybe recording on Audacity it said might fix the problem, but it doesn't seem to. So I don't know what that is. I'm not that computer literate when it comes to like the hardware. So I don't know. I might try and record the next one on my laptop. Just plug the mic in. So where was I? So exhibitions. So two quite interesting things coming up. Like, one is a more sort of conventional exhibition, sort of gallery, and the other is, basically it's a sort of, I think the building used to be a pub, and like it's two floors, so like downstairs is like the sort of where the bar was, and it's more or less kept in the same condition. The building itself is quite dilapidated, but I think that it's perfectly safe. But I think that that kind of adds to the sort of vibe of it as well. It's like the doors, like the paint has just been like stripped off of it, and they've just left it like that, so you just see the bare wood underneath, and it looks really cool. And then upstairs was obviously where the tenants lived, so it's kind of like a flat, and there's all different sized rooms, different kind of spaces. There's like an office space, like a sort of library. So, and I believe we're going to be projecting our experimental films like into rooms and like into spaces, and like it's going to be pretty cool, pretty sort of like expanded cinema, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming up. And then there's obviously my dissertation as well, which I'm an early development of, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep and I've always wanted to do this actually, and I've kind of started one and then just forgotten about it. I'm going to keep a dream journal, not for any kind of spiritual reason or anything, or trying to find a deeper meaning into my dreams, even though I do find that quite fascinating. The sort of how dreams are a way, I think, of processing memories and kind of the day we've had in a sort of abstract sort of way. It's kind of like the brain's way of sort of filing and important memories and then getting rid of others. It's also quite interesting that the brain doesn't forget it never forgets a face. So everyone you see in your dream, even if you think you've never seen them, is someone you've seen before. It could be someone you've passed on the street. It could be anyone. So the brain is just this database full of faces essentially. So sort of tapping into that with the film as well, and then the dream journal is literally so that the film is sort of as surrealist as possible. And it kind of, because I want it to kind of represent that sort of like candid stream of consciousness, the sort of unplanned nature that I'm going for. Is, yeah, it's kind of having a dream journal. I can kind of select stuff out of there that would be quite interesting, and then and then it's just an unfiltered, like unconscious sort of stream of stuff essentially. And I think it's important not to kind of shy away from the darker side of dreams and the sort of erotic side of dreams either. I think stuff like that is really gonna elevate the piece itself. So I haven't actually started the dream journey yet, but it's again, I have this oddly like not lack of motivation, but lack of follow through, I guess. So it's I have so many ideas, and then it's kind of getting the idea from my brain into, well, the world, I guess, having it materialize. And I think that's something I need to work on. It's just getting the idea. I don't know what it stems from. It's not fear of what I think, because of what people might think of it, because I don't care what people think. I only create for me, really. And so it's not that. It's I don't know. It's just there's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think deadlines and sort of pressure, but not too much pressure, is good for me, because then it kind of forces me into that headspace. Like, okay, right, this needs doing by this time. And if it's not done, then that's gonna happen. It's just like, but still giving me the freedom to kind of create what I want at the same time. So, if I have someone else managing the time and like when things have to be done for, it kind of frees me to kind of, focus on what I want to actually create, but still within that time constraint. So yeah, just have a lack of focus, I guess, and I've got so many books that I need to read, and I get them, and I'm so excited to read them, and I just like get a couple of chapters in, I'm just like, I just never pick it up again, and then move to the next one. It's just like strange, isn't it? The amount of books that I just haven't finished. But then I think that maybe work adds to that as well. It's just add social media as well. I think that I'm not lazy, but the whole idea of work, it's just strange, because I believe we're this is it. This is our life. That's it. I don't think there's anything else after it. And we're only on this planet not very long, and we have this we've built this system that is just like, oh yeah, you have to work, and then you work to pay for things, and yeah, it's just, why should we be that simple? We're extremely intelligent beings, and I think we're capable of much more than that. And I think that the reason I think that if money, I know people say that, oh yeah, money, we need money because like we're competitive creatures, and I don't think we are. I think we're much simpler than that. But we're also highly advanced intellectually, but we're also very simple at the same time. So if there was a way of just like removing the need to do menial jobs, the jobs that we hate, or jobs at all, and then we expanded our knowledge and our creativity. And people say, oh, some people might not want to, and I believe that in everyone there's a need to create and a need to learn and a need to fulfill their true purpose. So if we're not that, then what are we? We're just, slaves? I don't know, but we're not slaves because we can leave. We can leave our jobs, but we don't feel like we can, and there's no incentive, to get out of work. It's strange. Also noticed sort of my taste in film has not really changed, but has become much more precise and much more narrow in a way. And I'm not sure if this is a healthy way to be, being a film student, being a filmmaker. But I know much more about what I like and what I don't like, and I like less than what I don't like. The majority of films, the media, and television that comes out, I just haven't got any time for. It's just, and I kind of feel sort of not empowered, but like it makes me feel happy that I'm not just instantly on the freaking bandwagon of like, oh, have you seen Game of Thrones? Oh, have you seen Squid Game? It's just like, no. It's like I watch what I want to watch, I don't watch what everyone else is watching to like validate my own taste. Whereas there's probably a maturity thing. Whereas when I was younger, I just watched any old schlock that came in the cinema, really. But now I'm just like, and then what I do want to watch, because the cinema in my hometown it's fine, but you get hardly any leg room, and the seats are just so uncomfortable, and the sound isn't great either. But films that I do want to see, it because I'm seeing less of them in the cinema, I'm only seeing specific ones, and they're normally like quite sort of niche indie sort of horrors. I'll happily go out on my way to drive to Plymouth, where there's an IMAX screen, and you get like loads of legroom and the sound's good, and you haven't got some dickhead behind you constantly shouting. So, I'll happily, and it's the same cost of the ticket. I mean, it's a bit more for like the train, but I'll happily invest in that, and then I'll make like a sort of event out of it, and I'll eat down there. And I think that's what cinema should be. It should be an event, and I think we're forgetting that with streaming services. Like, get this right, there's a Beatles film coming out, Peter Jackson directed, and it's 6 hours long. It's 3 2-hour parts, and it's basically there were 60 hours or something of like unseen footage of when they were making Let It Be, leading up to when they broke up at the final gig they did on the roof. And it's just going to Disney Plus. It's like, really? It's like I watched the Oasis Nebworth film in the cinema. Oh my god, that was fucking unbelievable, and it was funny, and it was emotional, and it sounded so good. And because it's filmed on film, it looked like it was filmed yesterday, and it was filmed in 1996. It's just, and yeah, I'd quite happily watch a 6-hour version of that, and a 6-hour version of the Beatles in the cinema without a break. But it's the fact that it's going to Disney Plus and it's Peter Jackson. It's just like, and it probably won't come out on DVD either. It's just like, I don't know, and it probably won't even be part of like the main streaming service like membership. You'll probably have to pay like another 20 quid or something. It's just like, it's such a con. So yeah, I'd love to have seen that in the cinema, and I don't get why. It's just like, Disney are just fucking corporate pigs. I just realised how much they own as well. It's just Apple and Disney are just the overlords, and it's just like we're slowly being like taken over by them. So yeah, that's kind of like that. That's kind of where my taste is at, and it's kind of like documentaries, specifically like music documentaries, and just sort of indie horrors. I'm gonna watch Dune this week as well because fucking love the director, Denis Villeneuve. I'm just sketching something out. I always whenever I talk on these or on the phone, I end up just drawing, and it's always just squares or just lines, just geometric shapes. I guess that's my brain just coming out on paper, I guess. But yeah, I think I wanted to talk about like just unnecessary rudeness as well that I come across sometimes. Like, not even rudeness, but just like, passive aggressiveness. Like, I was in uni the other day, and I was helping a friend of mine. She wanted to take like a load of film equipment out, including these lights, which were in like a big sort of hard, heavy case that's sort of military grade almost. And I went to pick them up off this sort of low shelf. I mean, the shelf was like maybe like an inch above the ground. And I went to start, dragging the thing off of it because it's quite heavy and it's got wheels on it as well. So I went to start pulling off. It's impossible to pick it up both hands. You need someone else, but So I start pulling it off the shelf, and because of how heavy it is, it got caught on the latch, and then I pulled it like a bit more, and when it hit the ground, it made such a loud noise because it's like, heavy and it's like hard. Like that sort of hard bulletproof plastic almost, and like all the staff just kind of go like, whoa, like fuck, like I fucking dropped the camera or something. Where it's just this box that's fallen, like it's literally just fallen like an inch, and like they're not going to be damaged, the lights, because that's why they're in a case. And the fucking guy just he has a mask on as well. And he just sort of says something under his breath, and he's like, well, first he's like staring at me. He's like he's just staring at me, and then he says something, and I couldn't hear him. I could sort of hear it, but I pretended I couldn't hear him, so that he had to say it again, even louder. And he just said, "Oh yeah, that's not going to help the lights anymore if you drop it like that." I'm just like, oh yeah, well, I think I said sorry like an idiot. Well, what I wanted to say was just like, well then fucking help me then. If you can see that I'm struggling to pick up this heavy ass box of lights, then don't just stand there and wait for the inevitable. Then just fucking help me. It's like, why are people so rude? I always find it's like techie kind of people, technicians, like in locker rooms that when you rent equipment from in uni, and I just feel like they're so unhappy with their lives. And when I say to them like, oh yeah, I want to like direct films, and they're just like, oh fucking, because they're just so unhappy that they ended up with that job in a uni and they're not even teaching. It's just like, I mean, the one of them's lovely. It's just, but this guy's just like, why are people so rude? And then going to Plymouth like every day for uni as well, I realised just how much I hate cities. Not even just the city itself, but like the people, and there's just like people just never stop, and then you're constantly being bombarded with information, and then people try to sell you stuff. That's what I fucking hate. Right, I was walking around the city centre, and like this guy I could see, he was coming up to me, and he was just like, hey, can I have like a bit of your time? Or can I have a moment of your time? It's like, can you have a moment of my time? Can you have some of my... I mean, do you realise the gravity of what you just asked? Like, from my point of view, my time is precious, I'm a time millionaire, as what they say. What's called a time millionaire. I treat every moment of my time, or try to, with the thought that it's finite. It's it's not infinite. Money, you can just get more money. You just print out more money. You can earn more money. Time, you can't earn money. You can't you can't earn more time. It's that's it. It's ticking away. It's slowly, like, imagine like a second is a penny. It's like 1 penny, 2 penny. It's just, you start off with a full bank, and it's just slowly empty. Second by second, day by day. It's just, so to ask if I can spend some of my time listen to you fucking waffle on and pretend you're interested in my day while you're trying to sell me some shit. They weren't even selling me. I think it was something to do with... Oh, that was it. It was Alzheimer's. I mean... So what's that got to do with me? You know? What about me? I'm literally in the prime of my life going to you. I'm fucking crushing it. And you want to talk to me about Alzheimer's? Which I'm sure is a good cause and all, but... Like... So I just blanked him. I don't even say, like, no, sorry, mate. I just fucking, like... I really liked when you had to wear masks in places like that, because you could kind of... It was all in the eyes, basically, to kind of, like, if someone was coming up to me like that, they were like AA, something like car insurance, they always come up to you like, alright mate, who you with? It's like, you fucking assume that I drive as well. This is what you do, just assume that everyone drives, okay? Oh, go fight yourself. Am I just insane? This is the stuff I think. But when you're in a mask, you just like, I just have this resting, don't fucking talk to me or I'll kill you face, or eyes. Just a death stare. And I've got such a cold at the moment. It's such a fucking bad night's sleep. I woke up, well, I went to bed at like 10:30, which is like not me at all. I'm normally late. And I don't know, I just fucking, after work, I just fucking died. And then I woke up at like somewhere ridiculous, like 2:30 in the morning. I just had this really sore throat, and I was so cold. And I've got a blanket on as well as a duvet, and then tried warming it up. Went downstairs, had some paracetamol. The pain went, and then I was fucking boiling, and I was just like, and this was like 4 in the morning now, 5 in the morning. I was just like, you know what, I'm awake now, and I wasn't even tired by then. I just wasn't. I'm up now. I'm just gonna listen to a podcast, which, you know, I think at the moment podcasts are my favourite way of kind of consuming media. You know, there's something, you're not looking at a screen, you're just listening to people talking, and you can do other things as well. So I often do work or play music and stuff. Play my guitar and stuff when I'm... So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, if I do these every week, they're not going to be an hour long, so they're going to be quite snappy. But I'm still going to put them as the "Are You Still Talking?" I don't think I'm going to do the food for thought thing anymore. That's more 15 minutes or less, I think. I did want to just touch on potential guests in the future. I'm hoping by next... It might not be next week, but in the next couple of weeks there'll be my first guest, and then followed by a couple more. So, and they're not just like film students, not just like they've got some really like interesting stories. So yeah, I kind of want to turn this into sort of like, yeah, getting people's stories who are quite sort of unique, and they're quite a bit older than me as well, so they've got a bit more experience. One of them's a sort of a poet, and one of them's an interior decorator, but he's got a really fucking like brilliant story. Just fucking hell, the stuff he's been through is just incredible. And then he's really, you know, passionate about, you know, changing politics, and just, you know, the fucking hypocrisy of him. He's really articulate, so it'd be good to get him on. That'd be a good 2-hour one, I reckon. So yeah, and I want to get my mate on as well, talk about his book. Maybe get my mate Chris as well, talk about like his uni work, and, you know, his kind of focus and on film and stuff like that. But But yeah, I'm going to leave it here now. Thank you for listening. See you soon.